I am 21 years old. This story happened when I was still a little kid. Me and my mother just moved to this new house in the village far away from the town. And my father not always at home with us. It's because he often went to work outside the city and always come back late in the weekends. So there were always me and my mother only in the house. Our home was renovated and not fully finished yet. In the place, there were a lot of windows directly on the garden. And there are big gates in front of our main door to stop anyone getting in the house. The next to the living room is the kitchen that also have more windows, and also the back door, which we are not using that much. At one night, my mother was preparing food for both of us. It was about 10 p.m. and I was watching television in the middle of a living room. Suddenly, I heard something outside the house. I'm not sure who was that, and I saw someone standing beside the tree in our garden. At that time, I was so happy because I thought that it was my father. So I told my mother about him and asking her whether is he really outside the house now. My mother said no. At that time, I could not forget the look of horror at her face when I told her that my father already outside the house. She then walking directly to the window. She sits at the window and really shocked when she saw someone outside the house. At one look, my mother already know someone outside right now is a dangerous man. He laughed and screaming while looking at me. The way he looked at me was really violent, as he already know that in the house only got two of us. My mother asked him to leave the house right now. If not, she's really going to call the police. And what he's going to say next was really scary. He's yelling and smiling at me while threatening my mother to put down the phone now. If not, he will really going to break the window and kill them instantly. My mother was terrified and she doesn't know what to do. She knew that she need to do something and to make sure we both safe. She really want to call the police, but she doesn't want him to get near me. After he saw both of us really scared to death, he saw something at the back of our house. It was the door that wasn't locked. After that, he ran directly to the door. We both really lucky as my mother managed to lock the door before he gets to it. He tried to open it but failed. He then screamed like a crazy person and wasn't happy at all. He asked my mother to open the door right now, and my mother used the kitchen knife to scare him away and told him not to get inside. After my mother realized that the door did not seem to hold any much longer, she immediately grabbed me and tried her luck on finding a better place to hide in the second floor. Suddenly, my mother was shocked. There was someone she saw walking from one room. And then she realized it was her brother. She never thought that he was in the house all this time, and it was obviously he didn't hear anything that was happened because he's wearing the headphone. My uncle looked also shocked once he realized that my mother looked really terrified. At that time, my uncle was 25 years old and he was really well built. He's intimidated a lot of people. My mother cried and told him there's a guy trying to break in. While she's telling him, the crazy guy had managed to get inside. He was screaming like a lunatic person and he seemed that he didn't know that my uncle was also in the house. He screamed really loud and asked me to get out right now. He promised me to do it really fast and it will not going to get painful. My uncle told me to get inside the toilet, lock the door and call the police with his handphone. After 5 minutes of groaning and violent voices, the police at last arrived at my place and managed to watch my uncle destroying the crazy man. My uncle really did not hold back at all and give all the beating that he deserved and not what he needed. It turns out that a crazy man is a pedophile, which is why he always watching me for so long and wait the opportunity to get to me. After the tragedy, my mom was terrified to be alone at home. I was thankful for my uncle enough to be there at the right time, and my mother clearly forgot that he was in home. I really hate to think that what would happen if my uncle wasn't there to protect me.
Do not forget to subscribe to Fat Animation. Yeah.